So what should you do when things don't go according to plan? What do you do? How do you react? So often we get so excited about our plans. We're like, yes, this is going to be amazing. I'm totally going to do this. And I'm going to get exactly what I want and I know exactly how it's going to work out. And then something comes up or something happens or something takes longer than it needs to or somebody gets sick or whatever, right? And all of a sudden your plan is like what plan? Like there's no, you can't even, it's completely demolished. And so what do you do in that situation? That's what I want to talk about today. And before I get into that, I have a very specific answer for you. And I think it's going to be super helpful for you. You might not love it, but I promise you it is going to really change your mindset. But before I get into how that works, I want to just remind you that the Done and Dusted Planning Intensive is today in about an hour and a half, I guess. In an hour. In an hour, we're starting. And there's a link below this video to sign up. I have been getting a lot of questions from people. They're like, if I can't make it live or if I can't attend the whole thing live, am I going to be behind? Or when are you doing it again? And I'm like, I'm not doing it again. At least I don't have any plans to do it again. But you don't have to attend live, right? A lot of people are like, oh, I just want to attend live because I'm not live, like I'm behind and I'm going to miss it and blah, blah, blah. And like, okay, I get it. It's not quite the same if you are watching the replay. But, it's about 90%, right? And 90% is infinitely more than 0%, which is what you get if you don't sign up, okay? So even if you can't make it live, sign up. It's $37 unless you're a member. If you're a member, it's free. Happy Canada Day, Diana. And we will send you the replay. Okay, we're going to leave the cart open for a couple more days for people who do want to sign up, like who just are getting the word or they're like, oh, wait, yes, I did want to do that. Okay, so there's a link above this video. You can click through and sign up for that, and we will send you the replay plus a whole bunch of other good stuff. Okay, so, but back to the topic of this video. What do you do when things don't go according to plan? Right? Because if things don't go according to plan, it kind of feels like, well, I shouldn't have bothered planning, and now everything is like shot to hell. This is not true. Okay. This is a thought and it's optional. And this is good news. So I want to tell you what happened last night. So last night, my youngest son, so I have 4 boys and my youngest is 11, and he wanted to go to this particular place that had like VR gaming and I don't know, junk food and stuff like that. So he's like, let's take his best friend, one of his best friends, and we'll go to this place and we'll go play games. And I was like, sounds great. I'm all in. Well, we got to the place and they were like, oh, we're sorry. We're closing early today. And the kids were like, oh, okay. And then we're like, okay, well, let's go to the trampoline park instead. We go to the trampoline park. Oh, well, they don't have the waiver on file for the best friend. His waiver is expired, so we can't jump at the trampoline park. So we're like, oh, okay. And the kids are kind of getting like a little bit sadder and sadder. And then they're like, well, maybe he can sleep over. And then it turns out that no, actually he can't sleep over because he has to do something in the morning. So basically the plan for yesterday got foiled, not one time, not 2 times, but 3 times. And in fact, if you ask my son, it was like 10 times. 10 things didn't work out that he wanted to work out. So, what do we do in this situation? We could be like, well, we're never trying that again. That was a mistake, right? This was a complete disaster. Or we could be like, hey, how about next Tuesday, right? We can just pivot, right? And we tried to do that in the moment, right? Because we're like, well, let's do this instead and let's do this instead. And that didn't quite work, and that's fine, right? But we don't have to make it mean that we were wrong to make a plan and that we should never try planning again. And we should just be spontaneous because, spontaneous things, and you don't get disappointed. But the thing is, if you don't ever plan, and if you're always trying to be spontaneous, then you just kind of get what you get. And you're really limited. It's really hard to do things spontaneously and get what you want. And it is so much better if you know in advance what you want and what you're going for. Now, but it doesn't mean that it's always going to work out the way we want. Like, that's just not life. Sometimes things don't work out, but it doesn't mean we can't keep trying, right? So we can just make some plans next week and maybe go a little bit earlier. Maybe that place wasn't even really that good. There are so many things available to us when we don't just throw up our hands and say, well, I guess that was a waste. It wasn't a waste. It wasn't a waste at all, because we actually had a lot of fun driving, and they had a great time, and they went and got like some ice cream. And so it was like all good, right? It wasn't a problem. Now, they didn't get what they wanted, so we still want to execute that plan. But it wasn't a failure, and the plan is not over, right? The plan, we can keep going. Like I think so many times we're like, well, that plan didn't work. I was going to declutter the garage and then something came up, so forget it. I guess I'm out here, But then we just miss out. We miss out on that garage that we can park in when it's 105 degrees in Texas. We miss out on having the kitchen table available for family dinner just because we weren't willing to try again, right? Just because you have a plan, you are not entitled for that plan to work out the way you want it to, right? And I think so often we feel that way, but it doesn't mean we can't keep trying. That's how we get plans accomplished. That's how you get the kitchen table decluttered, is you keep trying. Your first plan is probably not going to work out, because if it did, you wouldn't have a cluttered table to begin with, right? Like if you knew exactly what to do to clean off that kitchen table and it to always stay uncluttered, if you just knew the steps, then it wouldn't be cluttered right now, right? So clearly you're going to have to try a few things. Clearly you're going to have to persevere, and you might have to pivot, right? But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't make a plan, okay? And so I really want to be clear about that. So many people are afraid of making plans because they're like, oh, I'm gonna hate myself. I'm gonna feel so terrible when my plan doesn't work out. But they didn't keep working the plan. They gave up after 5 minutes or after 5 days, like maybe it's going to take a little while, and it's okay. And that's something I'm going to talk about on today's call. Again, if you are not signed up, please join us for this call. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be really productive. But we think if we don't achieve our goals, it means something terrible. And we start telling terrible stories inside our heads about how awful, and how terrible we are at planning. But we don't have to do that. That is optional. If you don't achieve your goal, and if you've gone all out, or maybe you haven't gone all out, it doesn't have to mean anything. It could just mean we just didn't get that done. We're just going to try again. How about that? No big deal, right? It's literally, and this is a decision that you can make, right? Your brain might be like, but wait a second, I don't know. Like this is not what we normally do. Normally we just beat ourselves up. But you can just be like, yeah, I know. We used to do that, but we're just not doing that anymore. And it's totally fun. And look here, we have some friends here. Oh, he's going to go down there. There's the cat. You want to see the cat? I just love the cat. I'm just in love with my cats. I'm one of those cat people now. He's the cutest, sweetest thing. Okay. Anyway. So that's why I want you to come to this call with us. Because if you have struggled with planning, or if you've struggled with keeping your plans or staying accountable, I want you to come to the call and try it out my way, right? Who knows? What if I'm right? What if it works? We spend so much time thinking about what if it doesn't work, right? And all the terrible things that are going to happen if it doesn't work. But do we actually spend any time thinking about what happens if it does work? Like, have you even gone there in your head for just a minute? It might work. You might get what you want. How amazing would that be, right? Love this thought. Yes, I know. It's so good, right? So a couple other things people have been asking me again. When are we doing this again? I don't know. I don't think we're doing it again. Maybe. I totally no idea. I'm all fired up about this one. And then next week and next month, we're going to have something else. So I don't know if we're going to do it again. But even if we are, like, do you want to wait 3 months for me to decide to do this again? No, do it now. You don't have to be on the live call to get the benefit of the call. We have a planning guide that will literally walk you through the process of creating a plan, discovering what are your obstacles, what are your excuses. This is my favorite thing. Like, what's your head gonna tell you? Oh, I'm too tired. I'm overwhelmed. It's too hot. It's Thursday, right? Those are the excuses that our brain volunteers, and we think we should just listen to them. No, we don't want to do that. So we walk through all of that, and It's a 2-hour call. We're going to do planning live on the call. But if you can't make the call, no big deal. We're going to send you the replay. And then when it's convenient for you, you just pull up the replay, you get your planning guide, get your pen and pencil, and you start working through it. It can be exactly like you were on with me live. You will not know, I mean, you will know the difference, right? But it doesn't have to be all or nothing. This is not, don't succumb to that all or nothing thinking, because you can do it next Tuesday. It's going to be just as good, I promise you. So that is my request to you. Come and join us on this call. It's going to be so much fun. There's going to be a lot of people there. If you've never been on one of my live calls, it's not like these kind of videos, okay? I love going live, love. It's so much fun. But our live calls, our group calls are so much better. And, you will hear from others, and we have a discussion. It is a different world. It's kind of like the difference between, I don't know, like watching someone do something and participating in it. It's a world of difference. And I think maybe I don't mention that enough to you all, but it's so different to be on a Zoom call with me. My team's going to be there. We're going to talk. We're going to collaborate on these things, and you're going to make your plan. And then you can have that garage that you want to park in, or the kitchen table is cleared off, or the craft room, or the jewelry collection is decluttered, or whatever. When is the call? So the call today is Friday, July 1st. The call is happening at 2 p.m. Eastern, which is in just about an hour. And we have 2 hours blocked out for it. Again, if you can't make it for the whole time, or if you can't make it live, you can still register, and we will send you the replay, and you'll get the planning guide and all that good stuff. All right, so come join me. We're calling it Done and Dusted, because I want you to know that when you make your plan, it's as good as done. Right? It's as good as done, especially when you account for obstacles and challenges and excuses and all that kind of good stuff. So it's not too late to register. And even if you're watching this and it's like Saturday, you can still go ahead and register. We will leave the page open for a couple of days, and you can still take advantage of the call and get the most out of it. I mean, like, if you could spend 2 hours and $37 and know that you're going to have that decluttering project done by the end of the summer, and you don't have to give up the fun. You don't have to work like a dog. You can have both. Let's have our cake and eat it too, because it is summertime, at least for, those of us in the Northern Hemisphere. Like, how can you say no to that? I don't even understand. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go get ready, and I'll see you guys later. All right. The link is above this video or below, depending on where it is, and I'll see y'all later. Take care, everyone.